I have been dreaming about my perfect desk setup, my perfect office space for years. Let's go ahead and take a tour of some of the ideas I have for it, because I have quite a few. Hey Dragonlings, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Skye. I'm a fantasy author who typically writes paranormal romance under the name SD Hegyes, and today we're doing the first video in a new kind of sort of collab called Author's Answer. Basically, I got this video idea from actually an old blog that I used to read, and the blog title was called Author's Answer, where a bunch of authors got together and answered a same question, and it would be a blog post once a week with all of their answers. And I basically took that idea and want to do it in video format. So if you're watching this and you're interested in doing a video like this, feel free. I would love to see your responses. If you do make a video, tag me in it so I can check it out. Each month I'm going to do one of these with a new question featured that is based on one of the questions asked in the blog. And yeah, I've also noticed there have been some other blogs that have popped up since then that are doing a very similar thing, so feel free to check them out. I will have all of those links in the description if you're interested. Let's go ahead and talk about what I have for my current desk setup. I've got, technically speaking, two different desks. My actual desk is currently in the room we call the library. It was an addition added onto the house at some point. However, it doesn't have any kind of ventilation, so it gets extremely cold in the winter. And so I spend most of my year, because 6 months out of the year it is winter in Montana currently, and so I spend those months in the year at the desk I'm currently sitting at, which is set up in my room. It's a temporary desk set up in my room, and the desk in the library has basically become a dumping ground. I will insert a clip here where I show you basically what it looks like, because it's a mess. It is very much a mess right now. It's basically become a dumping ground for everything and anything. It's funny because most flat surfaces in my household growing up, if it was a flat surface, it would get covered in something throughout the days, months, weeks. Didn't matter. And yeah, it's just, that's what's happened with my library desk, is that it's gotten covered in bills and paperwork and craft supplies and other random bits and baubles. It's buried. And then the one in here, I've got the fact that it is in my room, which means that I have to work around my husband's sleep schedule, my sleep schedule. The dogs are currently in here sleeping, so if you hear some snoring, that's them. The cat's in here too, snoring as well. So, gotta work around that. It's a smaller space, so our original plan was actually just to move my desk in here from the library, but it won't fit in the space that I need it to fit. So I'm actually using an old card table. I call it the poker table because it probably was used for poker at some point. And I've got it covered in kind of a drop cloth currently. And it's very much the kind of thing where I would love to have more space for all of my items, because I'm very much an out of sight, out of mind person. And so there's been some things that I have purchased that I thought I needed multiple times because it was buried under my actual desk in the library, instead of in here at this small desk where it won't fit in my room. What can you do? Again, I will insert a clip here so you can see I've just recently cleaned up my desk, mostly because I can't film at my desk without cleaning it up, because I needed space to put stuff. So yeah, it's clean at the moment, but it doesn't stay that way for very long. And there's some things I would like to do to kind of change it up a little bit, just so I can add some more of the stuff that I would like. Plus I would like to get rid of the drop cloth. The idea of the drop cloth was good to begin with, but it's kind of changed. So I'm going to put a couple different clips in this video where I show you what it looks like with the drop cloth, and then after I've reset it up without the drop cloth. But welcome to the library desk, which I said was a hodgepodge mess, and it is in fact a hodgepodge mess. It is an L-shaped desk. There is my desk chair, and there is the desk. It is covered in stuff. We're not even going to talk about everything it's covered under. But everything is here. That is sometimes used, sometimes not. And yeah, I just we're not going to talk about it. We're just not going to talk about it. So yeah, eventually this desk will be set up as my actual desk again. It's very cold in here though, so we're going to go take a look at my my current desk setup, right? So here is my current desk setup. Let me move over so you can see what it looks like from the doorway. When we first walk in, it's in the far back right corner next to the master bathroom. But I've got my planning there. Don't mind Jester, she's outside barking. I've got my writing plan there next to my cord for my lamp, which my dragon sits on. He is guarding my lamp light. And then right here is my 5-year planner, my brainstorm notebook. That one's actually almost full. I'll be switching to a new one with the new year. And my 2026 first half of the year daily planner. Got my dumpster fire pen cup holder with my fire notepads and some magnetic bookmarks that are My Hero Academia. I've got all of my planning supplies in there. Some post-it notes, my dual monitors, my webcam that I use for filming with live streams. That is my 2026 or 2025 July through December planner, which I'm still finalizing. I've got some tabs that I need to put in it. Drink holder. This is a Final Fantasy. It's actually a card mat for Magic the Gathering, but I am using it as a mouse pad because they work great as mouse pads. My keyboard's moved up because I was writing earlier. Mouse. And then when I'm filming, this is actually my filming station. I've got my tripod that I use. I pulled this out a little bit so that my chair can sit back against this wall. And so I pulled this out a little bit. It's a dinner tray with my iPad, and I've got those up on some notebooks. Yes, those are composition notebooks. I bought a bulk order, and I use that to set up my tripod. Then I have my box here of stickers. There's some extra shenanigery up here right now currently. And then my other tripod that I sometimes use when before I bought that one to use more for overhead filming, so like top down filming, and it's currently there because I haven't used it recently for that. My Bluetooth Yeti is currently unplugged because I'm going to be changing some stuff up because this desk is about to change right now. And this is what my desk looks like now. This, of course, is a laptop riser and my laptop. It can move. I can move my laptop, put it in my bag to take with me, and then my riser can be folded up and put over here on the side. But yeah, I put this riser here for my desktop. I cleaned out this area, added a few more things that I usually use that were not in here. The only thing that might change is I might have to move my camera down lower. We'll see. I'll test that on Saturday. But yeah, I like my desk setup for right now. And of course, if we can ever move the dresser is too wide right now. It literally goes all the way to the door. But there's just enough gap there. I can almost fit my L-shaped desk here. It's like that much too short. So if we can ever get rid of the dresser, my L-shaped desk will come in here. And that will be a game changer because that is actually what I would love to do. I would love to have my L-shaped desk in here. But for now, this works. And we do what we can with what we've got. So this is my current desk setup. All that said, that is what my office currently looks like. What I would like it to look like is another story entirely. It's fairly similar, like a combo of the two, but it's also completely different. I have been wanting an office for years, as far as like where I could set up and work. And it's just never quite worked out. When we first moved in here and we were starting to talk about turning the library basically into my office, it worked at first until we realized that there were some heating issues. We knew about some of the heating issues moving forward, but we thought we had a solution with space heaters, and that space heater solution did not work because it would trip the breaker every time we plugged in a space heater. So that is why that plan didn't come to fruition. So we're back to the drawing board. And coming back to the drawing board, I had a few ideas. The first is that it's based on the fact that Sarah over at Heart Breathings, again, I will link her channel in the description if you're interested in checking out her channel. She's got her own office space. In fact, I think she has an office space and she and her husband have a gaming space. Don't quote me on that. I'm not positive. I don't know the layout of her house. It's none of my business to know the layout of her house. Just saying. I'm nosy. I'm not that nosy. There are some boundaries that I do accept. That is one of them. That was a weird topic that got a little away from me. Anyways, my point is that she has a separate office for her writing and publishing stuff, and that's what I want. I would like a separate writing option. That said, another thing I would like is that I would like a completely separate writing space. And this idea is more from Sarah Sutton. A few years ago, she had a writing shed where she would go out from her main house to the writing shed, and that's where she would do all of her YouTube, all of her Patreon, all of her writing and publishing stuff. Like, she had a separate space for writing related stuff. And that is more what I would like in the future. So, I have the game called Sims. I have Sims 4. And I know it's got problems with EA and the recent buyout and all that fun jazz. We are not going to get into that. We're not going to get into that. Not even going to talk about that. What I am going to talk about, the fact is that I used it to kind of create an office space or a writing shed, because we are moving in July, August timeframe, and I am hoping in 4 to 5 years I can have that separate office space. And so I kind of wanted to lay out some plans of what said office space would look like. My plan is to get a separate building, a little shed, and get it set up as an office space. So yeah, that is what we're going to be looking at, and we're going to go ahead and go take a tour of that, and I will show you what I plan to do in the future with a writing space, or at least what I would love to do with a writing space, whether it's in the same home or it's in a separate building completely. Aiming for separate building completely, because in my mind it would be cool to drive to work, walk out of the house to the writing shed. But at the same time, if there's enough room inside the main house, I would love it to be in the main house. It's just that where we're going to be moving to, there is no room in the main house, and I don't know what the plan will be moving forward after that. So I'm kind of working around all possibilities. So yeah, let's go ahead and go take a look at that setup, and you'll see what I would love to. It's not going to be 100% accurate, but you can get an idea of what I'm working with and what I would love to do, like the idea, the vision of what I would like to do moving forward with my dream desk setup. Alright, so looking at our options of the kind of shed we want, I was thinking something that is on the smaller side. It doesn't need to be a very big space. It just needs to be big enough that I can do both writing and filming content comfortably. And so there are a couple of shed options. In both the states I've lived in North Carolina and in Montana, there's been various places like on the side of the road that sold these like pre-built sheds, and the idea was always sold to me as like not a shed like a garden shed or like a storage shed or anything like that, but like the ideas were always sold to me as like tiny homes kind of situation, small apartments kind of situation, off-grid little homes. Like, that is what was originally, like, every time I see one of these sheds, that's what I see. And that's why I want one of these little sheds to be an office for myself. So I've got 4 different sheds that kind of show as possibilities for a writing office. Again, they do not have to be very big. I'm thinking like an 8 by 12 foot max, maybe. It depends on which one we actually go with as far as like the design goes. I do love these two. They both have semi porches on the one and a full wraparound porch on, not a full enclosed porch on the other one. So I do like these. And actually, I like these two better. The one on the right more so than the one on the left. Again, it has that porch idea. It's a slightly different kind of porch. The porch on the first one on the left is on the side versus the one on the right has this kind of weird shape to it, and it has a slightly larger porch. And on the inside, that little area is kind of shaped weird and can be used as a different kind of nook and cranny. Now, when I was in Sims and I designed the shed, I did base it more so off the idea of the first 2 houses. But, as you will see in a second, what I want in my shed is it's very workable, as far as like you can move it around and situate it any way you want and still get the same results. So let's go ahead and start taking a look at the way I've designed it in Sims. So here is like a look at the outside. I love the rain and I love the idea of the porch, and the main reason I love the idea of the porch is for the rain. I would love to get like an outdoor like hammock chair. I have specific ones in mind that are already on a wish list that I would like to get, where I could just have the option to sit outside while it's raining and either read a book or maybe even type and just enjoy the sound of the rain, because rain is one of my favorite things. And looking at these pictures, you can see two things. The first is that it's got that porch. It was definitely based off of that initial shed idea. Again, this could be enclosed. That's always something that could always happen later, though, like I could do it myself. And I love the idea of it having sconces hanging outside to give it light, but I was thinking something that was more solar powered maybe. I don't know how that would work with the roof. It might be something that if I was going to do something like that, it needs to be like hanging on the outside so that it can work via solar panel, or a solar panel needs to be attached to the roof so that they could work via solar panel. So that is the idea here. And then when we take a look inside, I've got a couple of different viewpoints for the inside of what I was thinking as well. The first of which is that the writing space, with this overview, this top-down overview, there is like a small bathroom inside, as well as the writing desk area and some bookshelves. There's a bookshelf behind the desk area so that it could be used as a backdrop when filming, and then there's extra bookshelf areas. Another thing that's not pictured in here that I would like to have, if there's enough space for it, is some kind of table where I could do packaging to send off books. These bookshelves would not be filled with anything like books I like to read or anything like that. They would be straight up filled with books that are my books, that are meant to send to people who order them on my website when I eventually get to that point. I'm thinking many, many years down the road, not just the here and now, because I really don't feel like this shed is something that's going to happen in the making within the next 4 years. So I'm planning 4 years out, when I have multiple different books out, multiple different series out, and have all of them available in paperback and can ship them out and have them attached to my website. This is very far future planning. But another thing that I don't have pictured in here because of that reason is a small table that I would like to include for shipping and packaging purposes. You also don't see an area for like a printer because Sims is very limited on what you can put in the desk area. Also, I would like the desk area to be more L-shaped rather than just a regular desk. It did allow me to do the dual monitor, and we'll be able to take a look at that in a second. In the secondary picture, the one on the right, you can see that there is some kind of corkboard, dry erase board, take it as you will. I love the idea of having like a Kanban board. I currently have one in my office, as you saw from the earlier clips, and I would like to keep that moving forward. I would honestly like one of those gigantic calendars that takes up almost an entire wall, and I think that would be perfect there. It would work well with my original plan with the poster board, but it would also just look good and be easier to handle, plus I don't have to make it myself. So I love that idea. And then the bathroom, there are two options. We could either do full plumbing, and I would have to figure that out, or hire someone to do the plumbing, or do something like an RV kind of trailer water system for the sink, and do like a composting toilet kind of situation, like something like that. I'm thinking it would be easier to do something that's more off-grid, so I don't have to worry about any plumbing issues, so I don't have to worry about any like water fixtures or anything like that, especially like where the books are concerned. The fact that I don't want anything like, let's just say the sink explodes randomly and water goes everywhere. I don't need that happening. When you get one of these pre-built sheds like this, they usually do not have any kind of insulation. You have to install all that yourself. And while, yes, I would install insulation myself, it's still possibly, depending on where we're living at the time when I get said shed and what we're doing, it's very possible that it won't have the right kind of ventilation to stay warm in the winter, or it might be too hot during the summer. So like the way I can make this easier is just to make it easier on myself. And then this is another view where you can see the bookshelves better that are along the wall across the hall from the bathroom. There's also, I believe those are filing cabinets. Just kidding, I forgot I took out the filing cabinets. With this particular space, the way it's designed, there was not enough room. I know the sizing is not accurate. Sims proportions are very weird, but this gives you an idea. The main staples I would like to have is I would like to have a wood floor. Even if there's not a possibility for a bathroom, like if I have to do like, again, the reason I wanted to do the shed was that I'd be out of the house. But if I have to and I can't put a bathroom, that's okay too. That space will get used for something else. But the idea is to eventually have a bathroom, and I love the idea of having a real tile bathroom, even if it is using like a composite toilet and like RV kind of sink, which I wasn't able to showcase with The Sims, but that's okay. And then the bookshelves are really weird, but other things that are not pictured in here, like I currently actually have several filing cabinets which contain story-related stuff, paperwork-related stuff. Like that stuff could be kept in this shed too, depending on the amount of space I have. And then, as I mentioned earlier, I would like to add like a table for like packaging purposes. So not entirely accurate, but at least it gives you an idea of what I'm thinking. As long as there is a desk with dual monitor system set up so that I could work on writing and editing and still do live streaming and video related stuff at the same time, that would be amazing. A comfortable gaming chair probably, because those have been like the best chairs that I have found that work. Even like the ergonomic chairs just they're not as comfy in my opinion as the gaming chairs, so I would prefer a gaming chair. And if I ever get to the point where I have this kind of building, there is a specific kind of gaming chair that I want, but it's like a $500 gaming chair, and I do not know about you guys, but I don't have the money for that right now. So, but they're comfortable, they're custom ordered, and you can get them themed based on various fandoms. And like I saw a Final Fantasy one that I really want, and if you didn't know, I'm a huge fan of Final Fantasy, and so having a Final Fantasy gaming chair would be lovely. But yes, the dual monitors, I would love my L-shaped desk, gaming chair, bookshelves to hold all of my personal books that are like by me and all my random pen names. A table where I could print and package labels for sending out books to people who order them online through my website. I like the idea of the hammock chair in order to sit on under the porch. Tin roof. I love the idea of a tin roof. I love the sound of rain on a tin roof. So whatever shed I get will probably have the tin roof. Like that is almost an absolute must for me. I will bypass any shed if it doesn't have a tin roof, and I can handle any shape of shed as long as it does have a tin roof. As far as colors go, I love the idea of a wood floor, the tile floor in the bathroom area, if there is a bathroom area. I like the idea of I have this painted with like a blue with a green wood paneling, but I love the idea of like wood paneling on the wall with a green paint above the wood paneling, like brown wood paneling to either match the flooring or the bookshelves, something like that. And then again, that either huge wall calendar or poster board or Kanban board or something to that effect, so that I can use that for plotting out my writing and publishing schedule. Those are like the main staples that I would love to have in my dream office space. The configuration of them could change depending on what the actual space looks like. This is just one of the many ideas I could have done and that I chose to design based on the initial pictures I found of various sheds, and feel like went researching for some more that I'd seen that I liked just as well, if not better. Did I design any of those office spaces based on those designs? No, I did not. I kept it simple and just did the one. And this is that one and what it looks like, and it's very cute and I like it. So there you have it. There's the vision. Can you see the vision? Does it make sense? I hope it makes sense. Can you see what kind of office I aspire to have in the future? Hopefully again, I've mentioned in a previous video that I have plans to make this my full-time career by 2030, so that is the plan. I would like this to come to fruition by 2030. Anyways, If you have made it this far in the video, leave me some kind of office related emoji, whether it's a filing cabinet, some file folders, anything dealing with office supplies. And my question for you today is, what would you like in your dream office? What kind of program would you use to build it? I know that I use The Sims, but there's also other programs that are actually related to architecture that I probably could have used. I know some people have some 3D printing programs that you could possibly use. Like there's possibilities. Plus there's good old pen and paper. So let me know what you would do, how you would design your office space, and so on and so forth. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys today, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, Dragonlings.